Well, I thought I'd take a break while I'm waiting for something to print. I've got 4 side frames getting printed right now. This is how we do it. We design one, stack them up, and tell the printer to take off. And he's running, he's doing his thing. The idea, I had built these before, but I had made them more of a freight looking, heavy duty kind of a thing with a big spring and squarish looking and lots of suspension. And for some reason I had kept the spacing fairly similar to the 4-wheel. And the challenge with what we can do with a flyer and how I can do it with 3D printing is I have to have a pivot point somewhere in the truck. Here you'll see how I built the 2-wheel. The 2-axle version of this was quite easy because I had the pivot in the center and then an axle on either side, and that worked out great. Then the screw was here, and I could put something in there that looked like a grease box, and it was okay. But when I get to these offset ones, like this one, where I've got all of this, how they did it in some of the flyer stuff was they kind of didn't have a middle wheel. They had a 6-wheel truck, but they only had 4 wheels. So they used this space here to make the room for attachments and for pickups and such as that. And I could have done that. I could have designed a truck that looks just like that, and it would have been pretty easy to do. I would just elongate this piece here, right? Change the shape so it's more rounded. Could have been done in a few hours, but I don't know. It just seemed like you needed the 3 wheels to be real, and I don't know. I built this one. I actually had 4-wheel pickup, these 2, and these 2 were pickup. I didn't get these 2 wired in. I could have, but I just never had the call to. No one seemed to want this, so I just let it sit for a while, and until Leon came along, and he's, I like these, but I don't like that. I like that, and I want it on mine, and his is different. His tender is going to be almost like a passenger car, but that's fine with me. It's what he wants. It's a custom engine. Customer's always right. So what I thought I'd do is show you where I'm at and what I'm doing and how things work. I did a CAD. This is not CAD. This is Sketch. This is me sketching, right? I took all the key dimensions on a little chunk of paper and got them out. And then I went to the CAD and created some views. I think this will start up. No, it don't. It's not in the right spot, but that's okay. They're in there. And I did a first cut, or what we call an alpha test. And they're upside down, so you can see them like this, okay? And this is simply to get the rough dimensions and the fit, the axle spacing, and the bushings and things like that. That was all this was intended to do. It's not a final. It's just a proof of principle. Can I build a 6-wheel that looks like this? And they roll nice, they fit well, and they have the overall general shape, okay? Now the details are what we do towards the end. When I add details, I mean the what look like rivets and this raised area like a pie crust, and this pie crust around this square area and here. Those are the details, and we add those at the end because as you make edits, you don't want to be hauling around a bunch of details if you're going to make a dimensional change. You just want to be able to do it and be done with it. So once we know we've got the functional piece, the proof of principle, it's going to work, we're going to love it, now we're going to add the prettiness. And that's where we are now. We're in the middle of printing what I call beta. This is almost ready for the details, this piece printing now. This piece was not ready for details, as you could see. But this is how we put the wheels on. And this wheel picks up one track, this picks up another track. And we separate the wheels by cutting the axle. I think I can do this. I think I can. There we go. I cut the axle in half. And I've created what I call an axle spacer. And that's plastic with a hole in it. Except the hole is blocked in the middle by 1 millimeter of plastic. It's blocked. You can't blow air through it. You can't shove a pin through it. So when you push these